to your Wednesday edition of Afternoon Express of Mzansi. I'm Palisa Dembe, and today's show is all things parenting and childcare in lockdown. We kick it off by learning how new mothers at Groote Hospital are staying connected. We're going to find out exactly what a cough is and what causes them. And then we're getting our sweats on with leading fitness influencer behind Rush Tush, Rushta Musaji. Now, fitness is important, but it also should be fun, everybody. So we want to find out from you on social media, what's one exercise that you'd be fine with never doing again? Ladies in the kitchen, how are you feeling? Are you feeling fit this Wednesday?
Yes, we are, Palisa. Welcome to South Africa on Afternoon Express Kombuis. Yay! Today we are making a tasty teriyaki fish dish today using our clover crush.
Yeah.
And you will be?
And I want to say Sambunane Mzansi. And today I'm going to make a pecanut pie, a real American pecanut pie, full of peanuts, cream, syrup, everything delicious.
Everything delectable. But for now, guys, if you want the details, make sure you get the recipe details on our Afternoon Express website. But let's hear everything baby with Dr. Yassine Jule.
Having a baby is one of life's greatest joys. But when something goes wrong and your baby needs to be in hospital for weeks or sometimes months, can be terrifying and lonely. Add a global pandemic to the mix and our moms are in uncharted territory. No visitors, so dads, siblings and grandparents cannot visit their babies. Moms feel isolated and scared. The Newborns Trust was able to secure the most amazing donation of free Wi-Fi for the entire unit. That's 8 wards, 80 babies and their mothers. Let's take a look at the video to see how it's changed lives.
Are you excited for Kiara to come home?
Oh yes, no, definitely I am. Obviously, I mean, I haven't seen her, since then.
It is very helpful because we're stuck here in terms of the COVID-19, but we can get in contact with our family. That helps us a lot. Really?
Okay, there we go. So there he is. He's off the oxygen again today.
I felt very excited and enjoyed the stay in hospital because I was able to contact my husband and send him pictures of the baby and the whole family to see the baby because they are not allowed to see the baby here in hospital.
Joining us now to share more about this fantastic donation is the senior neonatologist at Groote, Dr. Yassine Jule. Welcome to the Loft, Doctor.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. Yeah.
Doctor, talk to us more about the Newborns Trust. Why was it established and what work is achieved through it?
But Lisa, the Newborns Trust has been around since 2008, and the main function of the Newborns Trust has been to support the neonatal unit here at Groote and to provide great medical care to our neonates. These are our tiny preterm babies, by helping to improve the environment of the care, so with refurbishing the unit and to provide new expensive medical equipment that helps us to care for these babies. So been doing that for the last few years, and it's been going very well.
Now, the neonatal unit, as you have mentioned, is where the babies are staying. So tell us more about some of the life-threatening issues that these young humans are faced with on top of COVID-19.
So the majority of our babies are preterm. That means they're born before they're essentially born too soon, and they could have been born up to like 4 months before they were meant to be born. So that means that all the organ systems are completely underdeveloped and they need a lot of assistance, a lot of it just to keep them alive. For instance, we help them to breathe, we keep them warm, all using our devices that allow us to give these babies care and allow them time to develop their own systems in order to survive. Without it, they wouldn't do very well.
Due to COVID-19, the policy of all hospitals is that they are limited in the number of people entering into the hospital. And in this case, only mothers are allowed to visit and stay with their babies. Does the absence of the baby's father and families have an adverse effect on the healing and recovery process of the babies?
You know, Palesa, in order for a baby to grow into a child and for that child to thrive in the world, they need love. And that bond between a parent and baby is so important, and it develops mostly during those first few days of life. For a baby to be separated from their parent for months, 3-4 months at a time, before that baby gets to be seen and held by that father or the mother's partner, you know, that can be quite devastating to that bond, and it's very important that we created some sort of link for them.
Now that mothers are able to stay in contact with their families whilst caring for their babies in hospital through the Wi-Fi supplied, what are the remarkable differences you've seen?
So we've seen the mothers spend a lot more time in the unit because they're now less worried about what's going on, you know, at home, because they can stay in contact. You know, our mothers have come from a very poor community in Cape Town, and we call them bandwidth constrained because they can't afford the data that goes along with owning a phone in order to make video calls and keep in contact via Facebook, Messenger, or WhatsApp. These, you know, these are things that's a luxury to our mothers. So providing the free Wi-Fi, we were able to create a link between their family at home and them inside the hospital. So the mothers were able to now do video calling, and the relatives can in real time experience the same thing that the mothers experiencing in the hospital with the baby. So that link is important for creating that bond that we talked about earlier. Besides the video calling, you know, what they can now do is they can stream videos that's both from an educational point of view, and a lot of the mothers spend so much time here that, you know, they need other forms of stimulation. So streaming videos for entertainment value is also something that's been happening.
I love to see it. I love to see these positive stories coming out. Now, it's also been noted that currently you're using less donor breast milk than ever before. What can you attribute to this?
Well, and you know, the thing about donor breast milk is that if you have your mom available in the ward, then your donor breast milk usage will decline. And it's always best to have the mother's own milk instead of donor milk. The mother's milk has been made specifically for her baby. So having the mom around is very conducive to that. Now, I can't say that having Wi-Fi is the reason why we have using less donor breast milk, but just having the mom around, obviously being multifactorial, I'd like to think that at least that having taken away the worry about keeping in contact with relatives is at least part of that.
We're so excited for the mothers and even more excited for the babies at Groote Schuur Hospital, because we are seeing here them spending that much needed kangaroo care with mommy, making sure that they are aided back to recovery, full recovery, to enter the world. Thank you so much, Doc, for the work that you do.
It's a total pleasure.
Now, that was Dr. Yassine Gillet, who is the senior neonatologist at Groote Schuur Hospital, making sure that the babies that are all being taken care of at the Newborn Trust are all in tip-top shape, including their mothers.
It must be the most difficult thing to have somebody in hospital and you cannot be there. So this is such an amazing service for those mommies to share it with a family and with a father.
It is. It's so amazing. I mean, I can't imagine having gone through that experience by myself. So I salute Dr. Yassine, actually. Balisa, anyway, what are the people saying on social media?
So, ladies, on social media, we have been asking everyone, what is one exercise that you wouldn't mind doing ever again? And ladies, we've got 3 of our viewers back to back all agreeing that they would love to never see a push-up ever again. Nomfundo here has voted for push-up, but also Ufundiswa says, #Afternoon Express, I do push-ups, not that I will ever quit them, but they are still a challenge. I only do a handful of them, and I feel like I will collapse, but I guess I will get to 20 someday, because I'm on 10 now. That's so hilarious. And Kanelielo also says the same thing, you know, agreeing that the push-ups are so difficult for them. So I'm kind of finding fun in this, and I'm enjoying this conversation.
Same here, because I know my one exercise I'd never want to do ever is burpees. Please cancel that, guys.
Oh my
whoever
goodness,
came up with
I
that.
don't even want to think of a burpee, so let's keep it moving. Move your culture out the way, get your weights for, or rather a bottle of water, and warm up for a banger of a workout. Because coming up, fitness influencer Rushda Musaji from Rush Tush gives us a perfect post-pregnancy workout. Joining us today is fitness mogul and boss mom Rushda Musaji, who just recently had her second son. And she speaks to us about maintaining a healthy fitness and nutrition routine during and after pregnancy. Welcome back to the loft, Rushda.
Thanks for having me, babe.
Congratulations on your second bundle of joy. Now, I know we've previously discussed your fitness journey, lifestyle, and your nutrition plans, but tell us about any challenges that you experienced during your second pregnancy and postpartum that you didn't experience with your first pregnancy.
So every pregnancy is different. Every female is different. The second time, I feel like it was a lot easier. I knew what to expect, and my body just kind of kicked in with the flow. I was never really an anxious pregnancy female in the first one either. So the second one, I kind of just enjoyed it a lot more. I also knew exactly what to expect. I prepared myself for the worst, if you know what I mean.
Now, talking about preparing yourself for the worst, we see this so much, Rushda. Many women either feel pressurized to get back into shape much quicker after birth or try start too early. So what advice can you give them with regards to that? And what can they do during pregnancy to assist them getting back into shape postpartum?
The most important thing here is, especially what you mentioned, is how are you treating yourself during your pregnancy? So the pregnancy it's not about losing weight at all. And a lot of people feel confused and conflicted. You are carrying life, you are growing life, you are taking care of your baby. It's not about your weight. But throughout the journey, it's so important to remain active, lift weights if you can, jump into the pool, do aerobic lifting, go for light walks, give up your trail running, give up other extreme sports, but continue to move. I feel that a lot of the problems and the situations that pregnant women find themselves in is due to lack of movement and lack of proper nutrition. So things like crazy cravings, it's an indication that your body is lacking something. Backache, it's an indication that you're not exercising enough, you're not moving enough. It's about giving your baby the best environment to thrive and to ensure that you're going to recover and be your best self after the pregnancy. Not necessarily getting back into the same genes. It's about recovering strong because you don't know what kind of birth you're going to have. Are you going to have a vaginal birth? Are you going to have a cesarean? And that way you want your body to be prepared for whatever comes your way.
I know that a good fitness regime is key at this stage, and also eating well is key. But let's get stuck straight into the fitness regime, and maybe we can touch on the food a little later. You've got 3 key workouts that you want us to participate in, and you want South Africa to also get involved in. And this is to help strengthen mommy from the inside out.
Yes, so it's very important. I'm going to take you guys through 3 movements. The first movement is a deadlift. A deadlift teaches you how to bend correctly through the hinges of your body, through your back, and it's so important to strengthen your back, especially when you're carrying weight, so that the pressure is not carried all the way through your back, and that your back is strong enough to hold that weight. Okay. So a deadlift is very important. If you don't have a weight at home, you can use a bottle of water, anything really. You can grab a child.
I know, I can just imagine the mummies with their water bottles or with their babies if you don't have weights with you at home and getting stuck into this exercise. So let's make sure that we've got good back posture and that our backs are strong, Rishta.
Yes, okay, so you're going to hold the weight in front of you like this. You're going to take your legs not too wide, about shoulder width apart, and a deadlift is more of a bend. It's a bending movement. It's learning how to bend correctly by hinging at the hip and hinging at the knee while maintaining a flat back. So the weight is in front of you like this. You're going to hinge and bend forward, looking forward with the spine, taking the weight through the hamstring. Then what you're going to do is you're going to pull it back up through the hamstring. So we're using the lower part of the body, your entire posterior chain, to lift that weight up instead of pulling the weight through your back. So you don't want to round your back. You want to bend through and then lift the weight up and squeezing your shoulder blades together to ensure that perfect posture.
Okay, so whilst we've got our backs engaged, our core muscles engaged as well to strengthen those backs, strengthen the posture, what's the second exercise you've got for us?
So the second exercise is a squat. I like to add weight to my squat. The moment you add weight to your squat, it ensures that the squat you do body weight and more explosively by exploding forward is going to be stronger, it's going to be more efficient. It's also going to help you if you are a runner or walker, which we all are. So you want to kind of be strong on your legs. You're going to hold the weight like this in front of you. You're going to take your legs wider this time and you're going to sit back with your arms out and your chest up, and you're going to go as low as you can go and then drive through your butt all the way up. Keeping your chin and your chest up and not rounding your back. Keeping your chest open and your chin up.
South Africa, I hope that you're also getting valuable tips and advice in terms of posture and in terms of your form when working out, because we don't want to injure ourselves when working out. We want to make sure that we're doing the exercise correctly and we're making sure that we're not hurting ourselves. Okay, so whilst we've got our deadlift, our backs are strong and our glutes and our cores are now strong from the squats, what's the third exercise, Rishta?
Okay, so the third exercise is a kettlebell clean and press. It's very important to be able to press weight up overhead. It strengthens your shoulders. You make sure that the weight is going through your back and through your core. This is very important when you're carrying babies, when you're holding kids. when you're holding your laptop bag, when you're putting your weight in the overhead locker, you want to be able to lift weight.
Yeah.
So as females, I feel we don't really need men to help us. It's nice if they do, but it's more about, I know that I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this exercise, you're going to put the weight down. You're going to clean it up, getting underneath the weight like this. And then from this position, you use your stomach muscles to press the weight up.
Okay.
Back down slowly with control. And then we're going to do the other side. Again, clean it up, get underneath the weight, push through your core. Everything is through your core.
Wow. You see, Rushda, previously when I used to pick things up, I used to try use my shoulder to pick things up, or of course my elbow, but I don't want to get an injury, so pulling from the core here is what's key. Getting that core to give you the strength to pull the kettlebell up. I love it. Or if you're using a water bottle, whatever you've got at home.
Or a tin can of food.
Oh, I love that, a tin can of food. Okay, so it seems like we've got all three workouts and we understand what our body needs to be able to be the best mommies to our babies. We've got the deadlifts, of course, making sure the back is perfect. We also did a squats with you, South Africa. And then at the end, we decided to lift it up, pumping up the energy, pumping up all that fitness. Rushda, thank you so much. Any final tips for moms out there that have got the exercise down, but the food just keeps getting them down?
Oh, you know, if you head out to my website, www.rushtush.com, I've got tons of educational articles explaining to you which is the best route to go while you're pregnant, postpartum, and as well as breastfeeding. Specific guides to help you achieve your goals. Because, you know, women, we are so diverse and we go through different phases in life. And we need everything to go with us through those phases. And that's why I've created a whole range of things that suit every solution that you need.
Just like that. I just want to say hallelujah, hallelujah, because all moms across South Africa are saying thank you so much to Rush Tush for giving them the fitness and, of course, the nutritional guidance that they need. Cheers, my love, and all the love to those two gorgeous boys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And just like that, South Africa, you know, we eat together, we learn together, and we work out together. So please may you send all of your fitness workout videos to our social media platforms and we can be watching and enjoying a fitness routine with you. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express.
Oh, I know it doesn't show, guys, but I did do some exercises post the birth of my child. I need to get back onto that now. But anyway, what are you saying over there?
Ladies, that's so funny. I'm loving the model pose, but more than anything, you know those electrolytes within my system after working out, I'm just feeling so good. So we've been asking everyone on social media, what is the go-to exercise that you'd rather not do ever again? Anele, what's yours?
Definitely a plank, but not like the feminine plank, like the real plank. You know, not like with your legs touching the floor. That's that plank. It drives me insane. It's your core and your arms.
It's funny that you say that, Anele, because we've got another viewer here. Funny enough, not only does she agree that planks are a no-no, but her name is also Palisa. And catch this. Palisa says, planks. Every time I exercise, I do 1 minute plank. I feel that 1 minute is a whole day. So definitely planks. I mean, how hilarious is that? Who can relate?
Yes. No, I don't mind planks. I can plank all day. Just don't
Oh, really?
make me
You're
do
going to do
burpees.
that? We're going to challenge you to plank.
Okay.
And to do burpees. Not like burpees, like burpees.
Okay, ladies, besides exercise, you know, exercise is key and important, but nutrition goes hand in hand. So what are we cooking up?
Today we are making an orange teriyaki dish with fish. We're using our nice, tasty hake fish, and we're going to be like dousing them in a teriyaki sauce, making them all tasty and amazing. You just have
Sounds
to
like heaven. We are going to be cooking live on Afternoon Express after these.
Clover Crush. 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush your daily goodness. Now also available in long life.
Love by Clover. Welcome back, South Africa. Het is een wonderlijke woensdag hier op uw Afternoon Express Kombuis. And we are about to dig in and make our delicious, tasty teriyaki fish.
I love it. And we just spoke about it. Teriyaki is a very fancy word for fish or meat cooked in soy sauce, isn't it?
That is correct.
Yes.
And then basically the yaki part means the way that it's cooked, whether it's grilling or, so that's basically what we're going to be doing today. We're baking our fish. And to start it off, the teriyaki is the main part, and we're making the sauce with our amazing carrot and orange juice. So I'm going to start it off. That's the base.
Yeah.
We love the fact that it's got all those nutrients and ingredients and minerals in it. We've got vitamin A, C, and E.
Yeah, and it's 100% juice. It's 100% fruit juice and vegetable juice blend.
So basically everything you need in a juice.
I love it with just a lot of ice in a glass. After I went cycling in the morning, a lot of ice in a glass, bit of crush. I love the carrot and orange specifically. In a glass, it's so refreshing.
Yes, I agree with you. And to make this teriyaki sauce, what we're doing is I've put in my juice in there. I've just put in some brown sugar. I've gone in with our soy sauce, which is very important when making a teriyaki sauce. I'm going to go in with some honey right now and a whole lot of other ingredients. If you want to get all these ingredients, all the information you need, go onto the website and make sure you get that entire list. So I'm going to go in with our honey now. So the part of when we say teriyaki, the first part of teriyaki, that teri, actually stands for shine or glisten. And so that comes from the sugar and the honey that we're putting into this sauce right now. And then I'm going to go in with my garlic. Garlic and ginger are also very signature spices to Japanese and Asian food, cooking. So we definitely have to have those in there.
I like the sweet and the sweet element, the salty element, and then the citrus with the crush. It's going to be divine with the fish.
Amazing. So now what normally happens is you'd let this reduce for a couple of minutes, because what we want is we want it to be nice and thick, because we want to brush our fish with it, because we're going to now coat it with some sesame seeds. I'm taking you guys to, well, I don't want to take you to Japan, but yeah, this is a Japanese inspired dish today. So I want to make sure that we take all those steps and we follow all those steps and bring you that flavor. That's why we're using sesame seeds to crust it instead of just normal breadcrumbs. So I'm going to brush our fish right now with the sesame seeds. But I see you're busy over there. What is happening over there?
Yes, I'm just making a beautiful fresh salad to go with your fish. So I've got some carrots, because there's carrots in the carrot juice that you're in the crush.
Okay.
I'm going to put some orange segments there. I'm going to put some beautiful fennel. I love fennel. It's got that licorice flavour to it. It is beautiful. And you can use the leaves like that. And I'm going to cut it a bit, and with a bit of celery. And it's just going to be a refreshing salad.
Ooh.
But what I like about your little sauce that you made, your teriyaki sauce, it needs to be thickened to stick to your fish.
Yes. So that's why we need to reduce it. So I did make some earlier on. So what I've done now is I'm just brushing a bit of that teriyaki sauce onto there. So you see what has happened is with the cooking down and reducing, it's gotten that nice golden color on it. So not only is it going to flavor the meat, but it's going to help it caramelize as well. And then I'm just going to go in with some salt and pepper there before I go in with my sesame seeds.
Tooms, what fish did you use today? Because I know king clip is quite expensive. I love my hake, plain simple hake. But what fish do you have there today?
We used some sustainably sourced hake fish. Yes. So I've used some hake medallions, and now I'm just going to coat them nicely.
Snoek will also work. It's also the sustainable fish.
Correct.
Snooks will also work.
That will definitely work. And I'm just putting these onto my baking tray and putting this into the oven to bake at 180 degrees.
Our favorite temperature, Queen.
180 degrees for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But as you know, because we work our magic here on the Afternoon Express Kitchen, I've got some that I already prepared earlier that I actually would like to give to you to serve with that amazing,
yes, please give me a piece here, because I'm going to finish off my salad. That looks delicious.
And this
looks like restaurant food, actually, if I look at this now. And I'm actually going to plate it, because when you plate something normally, I just want to speak to the people out there, is in 3. So I'm going to cut it. You normally put 3 things on a plate.
Yeah.
So, dit gaan nou nie werk vandag nie. I'm going to put these here. And then the salad behind you. We always want color
Yes,
into your dish. I just want a bit of more of this beautiful fennel add to it. Because look at this beautiful piece here. It actually looks like a baby fennel, like you said earlier on. So I just want to cut another orange slice. This is going to be divine with your fish. And
That looks amazing already.
Yeah. And then I'm going to this sauce of yours. So this is your teriyaki sauce.
Correct.
That we've just added a little bit more of the carrot crush into it.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to sprinkle some pepper over it. Always a bit of pepper. Remember, you always season. That is the big thing, is seasoning. People forget to season. Do you have a bit of salt there for me?
I do, yes.
I would like to add a bit of salt
for
as well.
you.
Thank you so much. Season with, and you always have to add a sprinkle of salt over your food. And there we go.
There you go, South Africa. That is an amazing, tasty, healthy also, but also very refreshing dish to have. And I love that you could actually have this all year. It doesn't necessarily have to be a summer, a summer recipe or a winter recipe. Because it's so fresh, you can have it anytime through the year. And like we said, you can go onto the website to get all the recipe details and make sure you indulge yourself in this amazing recipe. This is divine. It is.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush your daily goodness. Now also available in long life.
Loved by Clover. Ladies, it seems like you guys are truly making magic in the kitchen right now, giving us something to work with all over again. And talking about working with things, we're also discussing working out, okay?
Yes.
So it seems like a lot of people are all agreeing that planks and push-ups aren't for them. Let's just head over to social media and let me tell you exactly what I'm talking about. We've got Gladys here who agrees with Chef Anele and says, planks, I can't keep up, yo! And then we also have Magrieta, and she agrees with myself and Dumi by saying burpees are a no-go. But I am loving Sango's sense of humor here. Sango says, #Afternoon Express, and a workout that he decides not to do are push-ups and algebra. I love that one. No, that one was a classic one for me. I loved it. I'm also trying not to work out any sums, but I have to also round it off just with one last comment from La Rochelle, and she just says, simple facts, sit-ups. Sit-ups for her are a no-go. Okay, girl, I see you, but everyone, I hope that you are keeping fit. Doesn't matter what you decide to do. Now, since COVID-19 became tangible threat in all our lives, we have all become afraid of the cough. Coming up, we learn exactly what a cough is, what causes it, and how we can treat it. Coughing is a basic defense mechanism that helps clear bacteria and viruses from the respiratory system. More often than not, coughing is not serious and should clear up in a week or two, and in some cases may be a sign of a more serious illness. We chat to Dr. Darren Green about the causes of a cough and how we can treat it. Welcome to the Loft, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Now, Doctor, let's start with what is a cough?
Yeah, a cough is a protective mechanism, a reflex reaction that the body actually institutes when it perceives that there's anything that can threaten your airway. And your airway obviously is responsible for inhaling oxygen that gets into your blood and then supplies the vital organs with oxygen, like your brain, for example, oxygen in the blood to be pumped around to all the different parts of your body that need oxygen to function. So a cough basically is a protective mechanism that when breathing in and when there's any threat of that airway, it kicks in to clear the airway, to open up that pipe so that oxygen and air can move in and out of the lungs freely.
Looking at acute cases of a cough, what are the common causes for coughs?
If you look at it structurally, you've got a pipe, which is the airway, obviously, and the mouth connects to that pipe at the back of the throat. So you start off with things that can block the airway, and that could be anything from swallowing a sweet or a wine gum in terms of obstruction. So foreign bodies, whether that be a toy, a piece of a toy, a car, or even food when you're busy talking and eating at the same time. So a foreign body would be the main cause of obstruction there. Then you could also have irritants and particles in the air that you inhale when you're busy taking a walk or a cycle, for example. And then, of course, you also get the mucus itself that can act as an obstruction when it becomes thick and forms a mass or a blob, so to say, in the airway, and then can prohibit then the free movement of air around that and irritate the airway. And then, of course, you also get other causes of cough that affect the skin of that pipe that I'm describing. So things that irritate the lining of the airway pipe would be things like inflammation that's caused by infections, by bacteria, by viruses, even by inhaling chemical irritants that irritate that lining of the airway. And then, of course, you get allergic reactions where that membrane of that pipe can swell and actually swell to cause gross impairment of breathing and cut off the movement of air in some of those tubules. So important to understand obstruction, the lining of the pipe itself, and then other weird causes of cough can also be things like reflux disease, where acid from the stomach actually makes its way all up the esophagus to the back of the throat, causes irritation and swelling that then irritates the airway as well.
Okay, Doctor, it seems like we now understand all things cough-related, but, you know, I don't know if it's paranoia or what plays with the mind, but is a cough contagious?
No, so the cough itself is not contagious. Remember, depending on the cause. If the cause, as I mentioned earlier, was an infectious cause, like a virus or a flu-like illness, then obviously by spreading your droplets to the person that's exposed, you could introduce them to the same infection. But most common colds that present with a light cough normally clear themselves up with your immune system intact within 10 days. So important to understand that differentiating feature.
Okay, makes sense to me, Doc. Now, what is the best way to treat a cough?
So first things first, I think remember that if the cause is related to the mucus and that slimy secretion, obviously, that irritates your throat, hydrating. So drinking enough fluids and water might help to thin out that mucus if you aren't hydrating enough. Secondly, avoid areas that are cold, areas where there are noxious fumes like smoke and brightflace smoke and cigarette smoke that could irritate the airway even more and induce the coughing. You'll find when you walk past cold fridges in supermarkets, when you've got a mild cold and irritated airway, you cough more. So at nighttime, coughing is then often worse as well. And then, of course, also consider anything that could be an allergy that triggers your postnasal drip and your allergies in terms of closing up the airway. Avoid areas like that. And for some people, that could be dust, it could be cats, it could be obviously going into the attic, for example. So avoid those areas as well. And then obviously you need to treat your cause of your cough appropriately so that you can try and speed things up.
Always go to the root there, not just the symptoms. I love that, Doctor. So lastly, when should we see a doctor?
So when your cough, for example, keeps you awake at night and you can't even sleep because of chronic cough, if you don't sleep and get enough rest and you can't even eat appropriately in between, your immunity is going to crash. You're going to get worse. And then obviously if the infection is associated with things like fever that is persistent, shortness of breath is another big one, because certain lung processes like pneumonia and infection in the lungs obviously can also contribute towards you feeling short of breath and coughing, coughing up secretions, for example. You would need to go and present to your practitioner for an evaluation and to also decide whether you need to be treated at home as an outpatient or need even further step-up therapy as an inpatient in hospital.
Perfect. It sounds like the perfect treatment and a way forward to heal yourselves, not only from coughs, but also for flu-like symptoms. We appreciate you, Doctor, for giving us all the news.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Dialects Jr, a cough syrup specially formulated for alleviating coughs in young children. Dialect Jr is sugar and alcohol-free and recommended for children 2 years and older. Dialects Jr clears a wet cough and thins and loosens chest mucus. Suitable for children from the age of 2 years.
Coughing is such an interesting thing. About a year and a half ago, I started to cough, like even when I was on television, like there was a constant thing that I wanted to cough. And there was nothing wrong with me. And they found out it was actually reflux. So it was acid that actually caused my cough. Oh. So they gave me a tablet to drink and it went away, but I'm off the tablet again. So it's got to do with anxiety as well, yeah.
And the funny part though is that nowadays no one wants to cough. Nowadays everyone's like, Palisa, you were telling me something about coughing earlier.
How, Tumi, how could you do this to me? Oh, Tumi's putting me on blast, essentially, exposing me. You know when you drink water, South Africa, and you just go gloop, gloop, and then you get a little tinkle, but you're like in the middle of a shopping mall, and you try cough, and I was coughing and coughing and coughing, and everyone was looking at me like... And you know, South Africa, I'm 100% okay, I'm 100% healthy, but girl, I feel you. Coughing in public right now is touch and go. But on social media, we have asked you, you know, what are people fearing when it comes to all things working out? And we've got Zanele who says, definitely crunches. You? Ayangi shula. Hashtag Afternoon Express. And we also have Usim Tembile who says, lifting weights and push-ups. Heish, ayangege. You, they are so difficult at being different. And I love the fact that everyone is working out regardless. But ladies in the kitchen, what can we expect?
I'm going to make a pecan nut pie with some cream and syrup and loads of nuts.
Ooh. Okay then, Chef Anele, take us to America. See you after these. the most of winter's simple pleasures with the new Baker's Good Morning brand rusks.
Sambonani, Mzansi. You happy when I say that?
I'm happy.
Today we're going to make a beautiful pecan nut pie with our Baker's brand rusk.
Yes.
But I just first want to say South Africans normally call it a tart because it is like a tart, but it's an American thing and they call it a pie. They're the big pie bakers in South Africa, you know, in the world. And if the people want this beautiful recipe, they can go onto our website to afternoonexpress.co.za. But let's start with the pie crust. That's the important thing. So I'm going to use some Baker's rusks, and these are divine.
They are. You know, I've tasted the chocolate ones because you know me and chocolate, and they are amazing. The Bakers, because they're nice and flaky. They're not hard like rock. You don't feel like you're biting into a piece of
It's a quality ingredient inside there. That's one thing. And what man? The baker man can.
The baker's man can, because he mixes it with love. He makes the world taste good. I'm sorry, South Africa. I'm auditioning for that.
So first of all, we have to get these babies fine. So I'm not going to use a machine. So I'm just going to use my hand power.
Elbow grease.
Elbow grease, and I'm going to add that to my flour, and that's going to give a beautiful crunchiness to the dish. Then I'm going to add some sugar because we want a sweet pie crust, and I'm going to add some butter. And then I'm going to get my hands dirty and I'm going to go over to you because you're making the filling.
Yes. So what I've got over here is we've got some brown sugar and we're going to make the pecan nut filling. But to start it off, I want to mix my sugar and my flour together because we don't want to have any lumps in the actual filling itself. And then from there, I'm going to just start by mixing everything else into the actual pan over here. So we've got some sugar and flour. We've got some of our butter. We've got some syrup as well, so we're going to go in with that. So all we're going to do now is we want this whole mixture just to melt together and thicken up, because that's basically going to hold together. Well, not too thick because it's going to bake in the oven.
Yes,
but just to thicken up and get all nicely melted. So I'm going to leave that to do its thing, and I'm not going to mess it up.
Can I tell you a story about pecan nut pie?
Guys, Anela stories. I wish you guys could be in the makeup room every day.
I'm just going to add an egg here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to break it and then carry on. So I joined Weight Watchers many moons ago, you know. We all joined them some other time. And then on Monday nights, it was a weigh-in night. And then after the weigh-in night, we always used to go to a coffee shop and eat a big slice of pecan nut pie. Even if we picked up weight or didn't pick up weight.
It was a guilty pleasure. So you had to reward yourself whether you...
And this is a rich dish. You mustn't think about calories. But don't go for like the extra large slice. I think just go for like a mini slice with enough cream on it.
Okay,
so,
noted.
Yeah, so you bring this dough together. It's quite a short crust.
Okay.
So all I'm going to do, I'm going to take some cling wrap here. And I'm going to wrap it in cling wrap. How's it going there with your sauce?
It's going well, actually. It's now starting to melt together. The butter is melting, the sugar's melting, and then our flour, because of that sugar, is actually sticking nicely to the brown sugar itself. And so obviously what that's going to do is make sure there are no lumps.
I just want to finish this up because it needs to get together. So it takes a while. You can add a bit of water, but this is fun. So what you do with this, you just put it in cling wrap and put it in your fridge and let it rest. It's very important. So I made this yesterday already in the kitchen here. While you were in the makeup room, I was making pastry. And then you roll it out like this. I roll it out on cling wrap like that. And you can see the beautiful baker's little sprinkles in here. And it's just going to be that extra crunch in the tart. So I've got a small little tart dish here. And what you do now is you just put it over your tart dish. You roll it out about a ½ centimeter.
Okay.
And because it's short, it is going to break a bit, but then you just push it in to the sides. And then the other secret is, Tooms.
Yes.
After you've rolled it out, let me just cut that away, and you've got it in your tart shell, you have to let it rest in the freezer again.
Okay.
Into the freezer. For 15 minutes.
Okay.
And that will ensure that the tart shell doesn't shrink
Oh,
like
of
shrink.
course, yes, very true.
Yes, so that is that. So this is what it looks like when it's in the tart shell, and let's go to the freezer.
Okay.
And then we're going to pre-bake it for 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So I've got the rest of the mixture over here. So that's just the mix without the eggs that I'm about to add.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go with some vanilla essence in there because you don't want to cook the vanilla essence at the beginning. So you just add it nicely at the end there. And then do you want me to put the eggs into the
Yes, you must
mix?
put, you must put it in, but you mustn't
What goes
scramble
into
it.
where?
You mustn't
How do
scramble
you
it.
want?
I think the other way, put the eggs down and start slitzing, and then with a slow stream, put it inside.
So we're
it.
technically tempering this.
Yes, there we go. That's perfect.
See, South Africa. You are learning. I hope you are learning. Take notes. If you don't have notes, go onto our website, get all the ingredient details, get the instructions, and make this pecan pie for a guilty pleasure.
Oh, wow. So
That is it.
now I've got this. Now you add your pecan nuts to your tart shell. This tart shell was baked now for 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
Pre-baked. We imagine that now. And now we're just going to add some, look at these pecan nuts into there. They're just broken up. And I'm going to add this, look at this luscious.
Because, you know, most people would actually mix the nuts and the sauce together, but this actually makes sense because you also don't overfill.
You don't overfill,
Yeah.
And you want more nuts than sauce. That's a
True.
big thing. So you just pour that inside there. Look at that golden, beautiful it looks. I'm salivating here. And then you bake that in the oven, in the oven for about 30 minutes. If you bake a big one, a small one like this is about 20 minutes, like we have the small one like that. You've tasted it earlier.
I have. I didn't want South Africa to see, but I've got mine over here. I stole it earlier, so I'm going to have that later. No comment.
And that is amazing. So, South Africa, if you want this recipe, go to afternoonexpress.co.za and join us tomorrow again.
Make the most of winter's simple pleasures with the new Baker's Good Morning brand rusks. Ladies, come on in. What a sterling job that they did in the kitchen today, giving us dinner and desserts. My type of ladies. Thank you. You can put that right here close to Kylie. I'll take care of that. So on social media, South Africa, as Anele is sitting down, we have asked you, do's and don'ts when it comes to all things working out. What do they look forward to doing and what do they absolutely hate? It seems like a lot of people are all agreeing, guys. We've got Faye here, and Faye says burpees, push-ups, and star jumps. No way. I forgot about star jumps.
Yes.
So South Africa, I've actually got a funny story about star jumps. Growing up in high school, we used to get star jumps as punishment. So if you're bad, if you do something wrong and you need to be towing the line, they make you do star jumps and they give you like 50 star jumps and have you in the corner. All those, like, the sitting when you sit on the wall.
Oh,
what do they call those? The sitting on the wall, the invisible wall.
What's it called? I think it's called wall
something.
Wall squats or something like that.
Okay, well, someone who also knows word for word what they're not trying to do when they work out is Lesego. And Lesego says, squats, are not my thing. I nearly had to use a wheelchair. Hashtag, I hate them. Afternoon Express, so difficult. I feel you. I think working out is just very difficult. But here on Afternoon Express, before the show, we either decide to dance, and if we're not dancing, we do squats. So we're a squatting nation, hey?
Yes, we are.
I'm not there. I don't know where you guys do it because I'm not there.
As long as it's not burpees, guys. As long as it's not burpees,
I know.
I'm there.
So South Africa, another thing that I've also kind of overlooked is running. Not a lot of people have said running is a challenge. For me, I look like Angek. You'll actually be like, shame, girl, come rest. Because I look like a mess trying to run in the streets. I'm running like this every day. I'm telling you, it's a mess, South Africa. Okay, but thank you so much for the conversation. Thank you for the laughs and thank you for enjoying not only your food, but your ideas with us, South Africa. We really appreciate it. And thank you to you ladies for cooking up a storm.
Thank you, Fali. We appreciate you.
So we'll see you on Thursday, tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be here.
It's a date.
It is a day.
Well, and on that note, join us again tomorrow as we entertained by the fabulous singing sensation, Niniola. And of course, we've got the hilariously insightful comedian, KG Mukhadi. Until then, Mzansi, good night, stay safe, and happy eating.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.